Describe two dialectical tensions at work in your own relationships and label and explain the strategies that you use to deal with them. At work. I don't know if this counts. Today I watched, it's not with me. I just started working at this place, so I'm fairly new. So there's not too much tension with me. But I was watching other people. So a bunch of people were just, what's it called? They just went through training to become shift managers. They're all new. They're all really young. Everybody wants to quit. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching. Some of them got big raises. Others got the normal manager shift raise. But because some of them actually quit and then were asked to come back and were given a bigger raise, it's funny watching every day how quickly they get tired within like 4 hours of work. And today there was just like a lot of tension. I work at Taco Bell. I just started. And these kids I work with, they're really young. Anyways, somebody didn't, she said it. I heard her. We all heard her. They forgot. And the one girl who's been manager longer than the new one, they're still young, got very bugged that she didn't, because DoorDash is really, really annoying. And we have to name out when they get there so the food is fresh. And I don't know, she just got mad at her and she moved her from headset to line to make food. And then she got mad at her again. So what they did today was they opened up 2 food lines. And I don't do food. I haven't touched food yet. So I just stand there, do cash register or take orders. And they opened up 2 food lines today because we hired that many people, but we're still not open to the public. It's only drive-through. And they decided to, one side does odd numbers, the other side does even numbers. And after she took her off a headset and she put her on the line, their line was slower than her line. And she was sitting over there glaring at her back, wondering why she was holding up the line when she was not holding up the line. I can't explain it. It was just so sad. But I liked how she dealt with the tension. She did it like me. She was very calm. She just, cause whatever, this is not worth my time. You getting upset is not worth my time. And I don't know. I guess I'm starting to see why they get really stressed out. But the stress isn't really worth their time. It's Taco Bell. I don't know. It was just funny. At my other jobs, it took me a long time to stick up for myself. I mean, not a long time. It took a while for them to start to get into my face. And when they would, I'd immediately stop them. But I do it in a calm way and really soft. I'm really soft-spoken. I don't yell. I don't like it. And so one time this passenger left his gun. I worked at the airport. He left his gun with one of my ticket agents. And I was actually a lead manager. And he left his gun, and you're not allowed to do that. Your gun has to be with TSA, or you have to have it on you at all times. It has to be in a box. And he left it so he could go walk around our town. he didn't want to carry it in his own. He didn't want to leave his weapon in his own possessions. He wanted to leave it with somebody else at the airport of all places, because it's a tiny ass airport. You wouldn't do this at a big airport. I mean, well, at a big airport, I'm pretty sure there's a place you could check in your weapons. I think they have storage. I don't know. I don't know. I worked at tiny town. Anyways, I dealt with it. I took care of it. But my boss ended up finding out about it anyways. And before I could even tell her, she wouldn't even listen. Even when I tried to say, I just ignored it. And then finally she tried to come up to me and yell at me. And I just stopped, turning her away. And I told her it was dealt with. And I told her what I did. She told me later that day, it took her a whole day to cool down, but she called me up into her office later that day and she told me she almost punched me. When I had stopped her mid-sentence, she said, "I almost punched you, but it took me all day to calm myself down and realize you were right. I should not have yelled at you in front of all those people," because I pulled her to the side into the back room. Because she's loud and obnoxious, and she'll just do it right there in front of everybody, and you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, and she told me she almost punched me. But anyways, how does understanding the nature of dialect tensions affect your perceptions of conflict in relationships? Well, like that, I just won't even do that. But I'm at the same time, I have learned that that's why I like HR. If you are having problems, it's always best to go and tell them all the time, just so that they have a record of it. Or like, what else was I reading? Something like CNBC. I follow their news channels. Some of their articles suggest at a certain age in your work or whatever position you're at, you need to start keeping a journal of what happens every day, all your interactions, and that's one reason why. That's a good reason, but by then you shouldn't have conflicts like that. You should be far enough along to know how to avoid them. Hopefully. I don't know. Okay. How do your relationships change when you are communicating? Oh, now think of a relationship, but think about a friendship. You're communicating face to face versus on virtual. I don't really talk to people virtually. I used to think it was weird. I still think it's weird. I usually just leave it for jokes. I don't email friends. I don't talk to them through Facebook. I guess I did in when I was younger, when I first went to college. Does your level of disclosure change when you are communicating face to face versus virtual platform? Definitely. It definitely changes. I was reading one of your guys' comments. Also at work, some of the girls, like some of these things I've been very curious about, but I don't know how to talk about them. And so when I talk about them with my friend, he gets upset because he doesn't understand, because he grew up in a different country. But I mean, I don't know. Anyways, but some of these other girls were talking about all their problems at work and why they are still in the position they're in. And it was good to know, like, they're just bringing up all these questions that I have, and I don't even have to ask. Somebody else is asking. And so that's good. That's good for me to know, for if something ever comes up, of how I'm gonna turn them down, or for what I'm gonna say, like, because I've been in trouble too. I might as well just say that, because that's a real problem, like some people have to deal with. But anyways, okay.